everyone, and welcome back to Speak Easy English for Lesson 4. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Tom. It's wonderful to have you with us. In our first 3 lessons, we built a strong foundation with verbs and tenses. We learned how to talk about the past and the present.
That's right. We can now say, I walked yesterday, I am walking right now, and I walk every day. But conversations are not only about actions. They are also about things, nouns.
Exactly. And today we are going to learn how to talk about the quantity of those things, how to ask how much or how many. For example, Jennifer, I have 2 things here. Tom holds up an apple in one hand and a glass of water in the other.
Okay, 1 apple and some water.
Exactly. But how would you ask me about them? For the apple, you would ask how many. But for the water, you would ask how much. Why?
That is the big question for today. By the end of this lesson, you will be masters of countable and uncountable nouns, and you will know exactly when to use words like much, many, a lot of, some, and any.
This is one of the most practical lessons for everyday life, especially for things like shopping or eating at a restaurant. So let's begin.
Okay, let's start with the big idea. In English, we separate all nouns, all things, into 2 groups, countable and uncountable.
Let's start with the easy one. Countable nouns. The definition is in the name. You can count them. If you can put a number in front of it, it's a countable noun.
For example, 1 book, 2 books. 1 friend, 3 friends. 1 chair, 10 chairs. 1 idea, many ideas.
You can see that countable nouns have a singular form, book, and a plural form, books. Simple.
Now for the tricky one, uncountable nouns. These are things we don't count individually. We see them as a whole group, a mass, or a concept. You cannot put a number in front of them.
For example, we don't say 1 water or 2 monies. It sounds strange. Let's break them into categories to make them easier to remember.
A great idea. The first category is liquids and gases. Water, coffee, milk, tea, wine, air, oxygen, smoke.
The next category is materials and substances. Wood, paper, metal, gold, sand, rice, sugar, flour, cheese.
Then we have abstract ideas and concepts. You can't touch these things. Love, happiness, sadness, beauty, information, advice, time, money, knowledge, music.
And finally, some general categories for groups of things. Furniture, we count chairs but not furnitures. Luggage, we count bags but not luggages. Food, fruit, meat.
The most important rule for uncountable nouns is that they almost never have a plural form. We never say informations or advices. It's always just information and advice. Okay, we know how to ask questions. Now let's learn how to answer and make sentences. We will focus on 3 very important words: much, many, and a lot of.
The general rule is this. Much and many are usually for negative sentences and questions. A lot of is the friendly superword we usually use for positive sentences.
Let's look at many, which is for countable nouns. Do you have many books? Negative, I don't have many books. Positive, I have a lot of books. This sounds more natural than I have many books.
Now for much, which is for uncountable nouns. Is there much milk in the fridge? Negative, there isn't much milk in the fridge. Positive, there is a lot of milk in the fridge. Again, this sounds more natural than there is much milk.
So a lot of is your best friend. It works for both. It's a fantastic hack. If you are ever unsure if a noun is countable or uncountable in a positive sentence, Just use a lot of. I have a lot of friends. Countable. I have a lot of time. Uncountable.
It's simple, powerful, and always correct in these situations.
Now, for two more very useful words that work for both countable and uncountable nouns, some and any. The rule here is also very simple.
We usually use some in positive sentences. We use it when we don't know the exact number or quantity, or it isn't important. I need to buy some apples. I would like some water, please. There are some books on the table. There is some money in my wallet.
And we usually use any in negative sentences and questions. Negative, I don't need any apples, or I don't want any water. Question, do you have any apples, or do you have any water?
Let's do a quick role play. Jennifer, we are planning a party. We are checking the fridge. Okay, do we have any juice?
Yes, we have some juice, but we don't have any soda.
Okay, and what about snacks? Are there any chips?
No, there aren't any chips, but there are some nuts.
Great. We need to buy some chips and some soda then.
Okay, everyone, it's time for the final quiz to put all this knowledge to the test. Choose the correct word for the blank space.
Ready? Let's go. 1. How blank eggs do we need for the cake? Much? Many? Many. 2. I'm sorry, I don't have blank advice for you. Some? Any? Any. 3. She has blank beautiful paintings in her home. A lot of? Much. A lot of. 4. How blank homework do you have tonight? Much. Many. Much. 5. I need to get blank fresh air. Some? Any. Some.
How did you do? We hope you did great. Let's summarize the whole lesson.
Countable nouns can be counted. 1 apple, 2 apples. Ask how many. Uncountable nouns cannot be counted. Water, money. Ask how much. Use many and much for negatives and questions. Use a lot of for positives with both types. Use some for positives and any for negatives and questions.
And that is it. You now have the tools to talk about quantity like a pro. And now for your homework.
Look around you right now, or look in your kitchen. Tell us in the comments. 1. Something you have a lot of. 2. Something you have some of. 3. Something you don't have any of. For example, I have a lot of books. I have some coffee, but I don't have any milk. We can't wait to read your answers.
Thank you for joining us for this very detailed lesson. If it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Speak Easy English so you don't miss Lesson 5.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.